East of the road. Off to our big adventure.
Welcome to our New England Fall Adventure. Follow us as we journey through 13 states in 14 days. On our way to Gettysburg. In May of 1863, Robert E. Lee began his second invasion of the North, the Gettysburg Campaign. Gettysburg has many monuments and statues. These are a few of my favorites. The State of Pennsylvania Monument is the largest monument on the Gettysburg battlefield. The tip of the sword of the Winged Victory is 110 feet high. A spiral staircase takes visitors to the roof of the monument, which offers a panoramic view of the battlefield. The 90th Pennsylvania Infantry, the Granite Tree Monument. When the first day ended, the Confederates held the upper hand. Lee decided to continue the offensive, pitting his 70,000-man army against Meade's Union army of 93,000. At the end of the second day, both flanks of the Union Army had been attacked and both held, despite losing ground. Meade anticipated an assault on the center of his line, determined his army would stay and fight. The North Carolina Monument commemorates the 32 Carolina regiments in action. The sculptor was Goodson Borglum. Virginia contributed 19,000 men to the Army of Northern Virginia at Gettysburg, the largest of the 12 Confederate states. The monument stands 41 feet tall and is the largest Confederate monument on the Gettysburg battlefield. Late in the afternoon of the third day, after a 2-hour cannonade, some 7,000 Union soldiers repulsed the bulk of a 12,000-man Pickett's charge against the Federal center. This was the climactic moment of the battle. On July 4th, Lee's army began retreating. Ringing rocks, also known as sonorous rocks or lithophonic rocks, are rocks that resonate like a bell when struck. The walk back to the boulder field is about 1/8 of a mile on a very good path. Watch your step, there are rocks along the trail. Highway 32 North is an extremely scenic drive with the Delaware River to your right and the Knox-Mixon Cliffs to your left. We made it to the Atlantic Ocean. It's amazing how calm the Atlantic is this morning, perfect for our boat ride to Block Island.
Thank you.
Block Island, nestled in the Atlantic 12 miles from coastal Rhode Island, offers the traveler what does not seem possible anymore: simple relaxation in a startling, beautiful place. The island is famous for its miles of free public beaches, hiking trails, sparkling clean waters, dramatic bluffs, and preserved open spaces. It's no wonder that the Nature Conservancy designated Block Island one of the 12 last great places in the Western Hemisphere. Newport is a city set on Aquidneck Island. Its yacht-filled harbor hosted the America's Cup, a renowned sailing regatta for many years. Fort Adams is the home of the Newport Jazz Festival. Newport is also known for the Gilded Age mansions lining Bellevue Avenue. Some are now museums, the most famous of which is the Breakers, an 1895 mansion patterned after a Renaissance palace. 1980, Stephen King purchased a spooky 1858 Victorian mansion located on West Broadway in the shadow of downtown Bangor. The streets of King's neighborhood inspired the fictional town of Derry, Maine. Welcome to Machias, Maine. The Bluebird Motel will be our home for the next 3 nights. Family owned, reasonable rates, and very clean. Highly recommended. Located on the most eastern point of the continental United States, West Quoddy Lighthouse is a stunning spot. The original tower was built in 1808 under the orders of President Thomas Jefferson. The lighthouse tower that stands today was built in 1858. The red and white tower is the only candy-strapped tower in the United States. The Schoodic Peninsula is the only part of Acadia National Park found on the mainland. It boasts granite headlands that bear erosional scars of storm waves and flood tides. Although similar in scenic splendor to portions of Mount Desert Island, the Schoodic Peninsula is a more secluded area. Acadia National Park is a 47,000-acre Atlantic coast recreation area primarily on Maine's desert island. Its landscape is marked by woodland, rocky beaches, and glacier-scoured granite peaks such as Cadillac Mountain, the highest point on the United States East Coast. You are required to have a reservation pass to go on to the Cadillac Mountain Loop. It was sold out the day we were there, so plan ahead. After years of record-breaking visitor numbers, parks have started using reservation systems to handle crowds and traffic. We were down by it, okay. The time we went to, we went down.
before that we went through Venturesville, so I showed you that Burger King is on the north side. And then walk to the other side of the road, right here. Is a trolley stop to pick people up.
We went into Bar Harbor to eat at Getty's, but we had to change our plan because there were no parking places available. As you can see, Bar Harbor was packed. On to another place to eat.
Sorry. Getty's, maybe at Getty's. Oh, and since 1974.
Mainly meat barbecue.
Mainly meat barbecue. Looks interesting, but nope. The Happy Clam Shack. I decided I didn't want to see my lobster before I ate him. Decided on dinner at the Beacon, another lobster roll for me. This is Rogues Bluff, Maine. The tide has gone out. White Mountain Range of western Maine and New Hampshire is spectacular. Experience the dramatic beauty of the Presidential Range as we journey to the highest peak of the Northeast, driving along the 7.6-mile Auto Toll Road. First opened in 1861, the Mount Washington Auto Road is America's original man-made attraction. At 6,288 feet, Mount Washington is often called the home of the world's worst weather. It is a well-earned nickname. One of the strongest wind gusts ever recorded on Earth, a staggering 231 miles per hour, was measured on the summit in 1934. Mount Pillier, the only place I didn't make reservations and I wish I had. Hotels and motels are in short supply and very expensive. We ended up at the Warren Lodge in Warren, Vermont. Back to Waterbury, Vermont for breakfast and also Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Ben & Jerry's tours were booked for the day, so we headed south. Highway 100 is a spectacular drive down the Green Mountain mountain range. The Searles Castle is a French chateau-style house built in the 1880s. The structure has 7 stories and includes a dungeon basement. There are 40 rooms and 36 fireplaces. The Trinity Church, where the song Alice's Restaurant began. Arlo Guthrie purchased the church in 1991. It fulfills Arlo's aim to meet the ongoing needs of the community. Arlo's concerts at the church was what first brought us to this area. Another one of my favorite places, the Guthrie Center. Norman Percival Rockwell was an American painter and illustrator. His works have a broad popular appeal in the United States for their reflection of the country's culture. Rockwell is most famous for his cover illustrations of everyday life he created for the Saturday Evening Post magazine for nearly 5 decades. In 1957, Norman Rockwell purchased a home on South Street near the center of Stockbridge, Massachusetts. The property's backyard included a dilapidated carriage barn, which he converted into this working studio. Kenny Aronoff grew up as Rockwell's neighbor and tells stories of him and his brothers stealing his cigarettes as a kid. Out of the approximately 27 studios Rockwell occupied, it was this one that was his favorite studio. In 1986, the museum had it moved to its current location. In 1969, the world was rapidly changing and young Americans were searching for their place within it. In that time of conflict and uncertainty, 3 days of peace and music seemed just what a divided nation needed. What began on a stage in the middle of a small New York farm field ended on the world stage. No one knew it at the time, but those 3 days of music, mud, and memories would birth an entire cultural phenomenon. Definitely visit the museum at Bethel Woods. The museum looks at the 60s and 1969 Woodstock Music Festival with multimedia exhibits and a movie theater. The woman who will always be remembered is the crazy redhead, accident-prone, lovable Lucy Ricardo was born Lucille Desiree Ball on August 6, 1911 in Jamestown, New York. With I Love Lucy in 1951, she and Desi promoted the three-camera technique, now the standard in filming sitcoms, as they created the most popular and universally beloved sitcom of all time.